Binge the full week of The Ray Taylor Show ad-free over at inspireddisorder.com/plus.
This is The Ray Taylor Show.
Bridget Jones's Diary is the movie that I watched this past week. I review movies generally on Wednesdays, movies within a franchise. So I'll be doing all of the Bridget Jones's movies, the 3 movies that are out. I have watched the first and second movies, but it's been, that was like in my mid-20s when I saw these. This one came out in 2001. I probably saw it 2007, I would guess, somewhere around there. So I am revisiting these movies, these romantic comedies, which is not a genre of film that I am necessarily a big fan of. I don't mind them. There are a lot of good ones, in my opinion. And I do remember enjoying this movie. I did enjoy revisiting this movie. And considering the hellscape that is our reality, it was nice to unplug for a minute, or for a few minutes, for about, an hour and 37 minutes, to unplug from that reality and sit back and watch Renee Zellweger and Colin Firth and Hugh Grant in their little love triangle. But I enjoyed this movie. So let's get into it. It's interesting. This movie starts off with, you find out that Renee Zellweger is a 32-year-old who has never been in a relationship, which I find extremely hard to believe. Very unbelievable. Because we see her in this movie attractive. Say what you will. I mean, despite the fact that this movie is trying to convince me that she is overweight, I find her to be attractive. I would categorize her as being thin. She's not anorexic thin, but it is weird how this movie is trying to make you believe that she is overweight. She's also goofy, which I am very attracted to goofy women. I appreciate the goofy, awkward stylings of Renee Zellweger in this. And she clearly is like an extrovert on some level. She goes out, she socializes, she hangs out with her friends, she drinks, she smokes cigarettes, all of the things that, put you in situations where you think she would be at least going on dates. I mean, it seems that she's never been in a relationship, but it's clear that it's not like she's a 32-year-old virgin. She's definitely gone on dates. It just seems like, I guess, she's only ever gone out with bad dudes. Dudes that just, get what they want from her and then bounce. Which, there's definitely, in reality, there are definitely those women who, for whatever reason, daddy issues or whatever, are drawn to horrible dudes. And as somebody who has seen, like, when you are a dude, you see all of the assholes that exist. And it is mind-blowing how popular assholes can be with the women. With women in general. And it is a bummer to see women get treated like shit over and over again. And this movie, in a lot of ways, is an expression of that, because she goes out, she's flirting with her boss, who's Hugh Grant, and it's very inappropriate just because he is her boss, but it's also like you know that he is an asshole. Like, there's this story where Hugh Grant was cheated on. That's his story, which is the thing that assholes do. They're always pathological liars. They always pretend to be the victim of situations. Their actions contradict the words that they say on a regular basis, and it's disgusting, and Hugh Grant plays it to a T. And she falls for it, which is so frustrating watching this movie. Now, when I first watched it and watching it this time, it's frustrating watching Renee Zellweger, Bridget Jones, fall for this douchebag. And it's a bummer. It's a bummer. Coming soon, a new podcast from The Ray Taylor Show, the unofficial Severance recap podcast. Mark leads a team of office workers whose memories have been surgically divided between their work and personal lives. When a mysterious colleague appears outside of work, it begins a journey to discover the truth about their jobs. Join Ray Taylor as he breaks down every episode of Season 1 of the new Apple TV show, Severance. First episode released June 7th. New episodes released every Tuesday. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, and YouTube. Go to inspireddisorder.com for links. It is crazy. One thing I did notice while watching this movie, because she is a smoker, it is crazy watching somebody smoke throughout this movie everywhere. Everywhere she goes, she's smoking. And it's crazy how much things have changed from even 2001 to 2022. I mean, I guess it's been 21 years since this movie came out. Holy shit. I just realized it's been over 20 years since this movie came out. This is the face of a man who realizes he is old. It's ridiculous. But it's been 20 years. 21 years. And you just never see people smoking cigarettes anymore. I mean, even vaping. The people who used to like dragon vape, the people, the most disgusting habit anybody could ever pick up are those vapes where they're just blowing giant clouds everywhere. Oh, just disgusting. Even that trend seems to have fallen off over the past few years. But it's crazy watching this movie and seeing her smoke cigarettes everywhere. That was crazy. But this is a fun movie. Her awkwardness obviously comes up in many situations. There's a funny scene where she goes to visit her mom while her mom's demonstrating a product, and this product is like this hard-boiled egg peeler. It's like you put the egg in, and it's like you stroke it, and then the egg pops out all without the shell, and then like some juice comes. It's very funny, very just it's almost out of place seeing a dick joke in this movie. Still funny, but clearly like the most clear dick joke, like a Saturday Night Live sketch, is in this movie with that egg peeler. But I still appreciated it. It's also weird how completely accepted her quote-unquote uncle is. This guy that like molests people openly, and people know how creepy he is. And it's just accepted. It is so weird. It is so weird. Where else? The scenes where she's going to turn her life around, and you see how popular all these self-help books are. Just like tons of self-help books, which is crazy that like, I guess now with social media in a lot of ways, I think has replaced the self-help book craze. Like there's a lot of like influencers that are like the self-help influencers, probably taken the place of a lot of the self-help book market. But yeah, it's a fun movie. It made me miss snow. There's multiple scenes that take place during the winter time. I mean, this movie starts off with a New Year's party, which is kind of a crazy thing. I think it was on New Year's Day. I don't know if that's a normal thing in the UK, but having a New Year's Day party with like friends and family, very weird. But made me miss the snow, made me miss Colorado, made me miss Denver. Just the feeling of being in snow. That I love the cold weather, and now I'm living in a desert, and it's summertime. It's getting close to summertime, 100 degrees plus every day, and seeing snow in this movie just made me wish. Like I wish, even not being able to have snow is one thing. Like I just miss colder weather. I miss not being soaked with sweat constantly. And it was nice to not only get the nice little comedy out of this movie, to not only get the little romance of like the good guy winning in the end. You know, she's with the right guy in the end. But also getting that little taste of like, kind of living vicariously through her character being in the snow. And even the end of this movie, there's like a twist that totally got me. Right? This whole thing is about how she's, going out with Hugh Grant and he's a complete asshole, and she catches him in a lie. And she starts, kind of being into this other guy who they started off in a rough patch, played by Colin Firth, and who's a barrister. And her friends love him. He loves her just the way she is. She doesn't need to change for him. He accepts who she is as she is. And he is like the good guy to finish. And there's a scene at the end where he comes across her diary, and in her diary, it's her impression of him when they first met and how she doesn't like him and all this stuff, which they know, which when I'm watching this scene, I'm like, he can see the date. Like, why is he angry? He can see the date. They know they both, started off on the wrong foot in the first place. They know this. And he leaves angry, and I'm like, what is going on? It's the end of the movie, and there's this twist going on where, now, how is this going to work? And it totally got me. It totally got me. And now a quick word from our sponsor. Now you can wear The Many Faces, original art by Ray Taylor. Select pieces from the ongoing series of abstract ink paintings. All products made with high-quality materials, made right here in the USA. Go to inspireddisorder.com/TMF merch to browse the entire collection and save yourself an extra 10% when you check out by using coupon code RTSTMF. So once again, go to inspireddisorder.com/TMF merch and save 10% when you use coupon code RTSTMF. And now, back to our show. Because he leaves and she like chases after him. She's like, oh no, he saw the diary. I'm gonna... Like, they were just going to finally hook up. And he sees the diary, and he leaves in a huff. And she's like, fuck, I got to go get him. And it's that romantic comedy where it's like, just he drops everything to run after the one that they love. And you find out that he's just buying her a new diary. Totally got me. Like, I'm watching this movie, I'm like, why is he angry? He sees that this was written, this is not a recent opinion of him. He knew. This movie got me. Because I was in it. The whole manipulated rom-comness of it all, hook, line, and sinker, just completely got me. Which I appreciated. I was like, you got me, movie. You got me. I love Bridget Jones' Diary. I do. I love the nice thing about romantic comedies. One, comedy. Little scenes here and there make you laugh. Maybe not the funniest movie to ever be made. Not a laugh riot. I wasn't doubled over in pain because I was laughing so hard. But it just elevates my mood and makes me happy and takes me out of reality just enough. And even at the end, even with all the manipulation, emotional manipulation that these movies do, still got me at that end. Got just that little twist. And when it's like, shucks, They do love each other, and she's in her, like, leopard skin panties out in the snow, and all the old ladies can see her butt's hanging out. I really did enjoy it. I'm interested to see how this franchise goes. Its expectations are low because of the genre. But I can't, how are these next movies? Like, she's clearly there's going to be a situation where Bridget Jones and her Mr. Nice Guy, Colin Firth, they're going to have to break up. There's going to be a situation where there's another love triangle somehow. They're going to turn him into a bad guy, maybe. Maybe she's going to turn into a bad... Who knows? I don't know. I'm interested to see how they're able to pull off 3 of these movies. And the gap between the second movie and the third movie is like 15 years. I think the second movie came out in like 2004 or something like that. And then the third movie, which I've never seen, came out in like 2015, 2016. So it'll be interesting to see how they pull that off, what they do with this story. But as a first one, I mean, it's a classic little rom-com scenario. You know, the awkward meeting at the New Year's party, the misunderstanding, the guy who lies, the fight that they have, the fight over the woman, and then she goes, you know, Hugh Grant's character gets knocked out, and she goes to Hugh Grant, like, oh, I know you cheated on me. Like, it's so frustrating, these movies, because it's true. I've seen it way too often where it's like the asshole wins in the end. The person who is clearly the pathological liar, the guy who says one thing and does another thing. Like, women will listen to the words he says and ignore the actions that he does. It's so frustrating to see in real life and so frustrating to see it in a movie because it should be stupid. It shouldn't be part of reality, but it is. It is part of reality, and the fight scene was fun, but the fact that she goes to him was a bummer. But it got me. That's what these movies do. They manipulate you. So check it out. I think all three of them are on HBO Max right now. That's where I watched it. So looking forward to next Wednesday, I will be doing the second Bridget Jones Diary movie, which I don't remember what it's called, but I'm interested. I'm looking forward to unplugging from reality one more time and diving into this UK love triangle. Where does it go next? New episodes of The Ray Taylor Show come out every single day. Subscribe on YouTube and everywhere podcasts are found. Binge the full week over at inspireddisorder.com/plus. Buy Ray Taylor Show merch over at inspireddisorder.com. And follow the show on Instagram at Ray Taylor Show. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Peace out!
Today is the day where you wake up and you realize that everything that you've been dreaming about, everything that you've been wanting, every goal and wish and hope that you've ever had can become real. Dreams can come true. What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.